My name's Munzberger and I'm the Managing Director of Shinobi MMA Fighting Championships. Role-wise, I'm overseeing the whole promotion. The promotion's been my sort of brainchild for the last couple of years, to be honest with you, Steve. And it's exciting that now obviously we're getting 6-7 days away from the show. So all the hard work and all the thoughts and visions are now hopefully going to come to fruition, and hopefully everybody's going to have a great night.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. Before we get on to Shinobi, can you just give us a bit of background into your experiences in MMA leading you up to how you've come to be the director of Shinobi?
I started off as most people do, a long time ago now, making myself sound very old, but I started off at around 17, 18 years of age as just a Thai boxing student, kickboxing student. Did that for a couple of years and then got into the sort of tuition side of it. And was predominantly based in a lot of the health and fitness gyms in and around Runcorn and Warrington, teaching classes. And a gym opened up not too far from where I live called the Wolf's Lair MMA Academy, which everybody now is obviously very familiar with. And I ended up just giving a knock on the door a couple of weeks after they opened and becoming a coach, a striking coach for them. And then really over the last 8 or 9 years, got quite heavily into MMA through the Wolf's Lair and spending a lot of time with the likes of Anthony McGann and Lee Gwynn, who own the Wolf's Lair. I was sort of given access really to a lot of the top fighters in the country and the likes of the UFC promotions and the people that worked in and around that. So sort of learnt my trade really the hard way as a coach, and then moving into management of the Wolf's Lair gym. And that sort of led a couple of years ago to me opening the gym that we're doing the interview in, which is Health, Fitness and Fight Solutions. And one thing sort of led from one thing to another, and now we're about to start what is the first promotion that we've done. So it's been, I would say it's been a categorised MMA career. You know, I've got a good knowledge of all aspects of the industry, from the training side to the coaching side to the management side. I also run several of my own businesses, so I can put on any hat really that's needed to do so, which I wouldn't say is unique in the industry, but a lot of people are either coaches or they're fighters or they're managers. I've been sort of allowed to sit within most of those roles and enjoyed most of them, and now it's sort of time for us to take this forwards and see what we can do ourselves to compete with some of the big boys out there.
Can you just talk us through, because obviously, like, in your own words, you've done quite a lot of different varied roles within the sport. What was the catalyst for making you make the leap from coach and gym owner to being a promoter and putting on your own show?
Yeah, I'm deeply passionate about mixed martial arts and most combat styles, to be honest with you. And you know, working in the likes of the Wolf's Lair and working with some of the better coaches in the country and some of the better coaches in the world, to be honest with you, and seeing how people do things. I sat back a couple of years ago and I thought to myself, I can do this, and I believe I can do just as good a job, if not better, than the people that are currently on the market at the moment doing it. And that's not me sort of trying to belittle anybody else or saying that we are or I am any better than anybody else. I just believe that I've got a good, unique skill set really, where I do understand this industry inside out. And as we said before, you know, I have worked in most of those job roles, and I think to do anything well, you have to understand it from the sort of grassroots upwards if you're really going to be truly successful at it. So sitting back alongside my own management and business sort of experience that I had, I believe that I could sort of intertwine the mixed martial arts knowledge, coaching knowledge, and I could mix that with the management and business knowledge that I already had, and that we could put on a good, successful promotion. I'm under no illusion, Steve, that this is going to be an easy transition from, you know, coach and an MMA gym owner into the sort of promoting an events world. But I've got a good, strong team of individuals around me, and I think that's the key, really. If you put in any business and in any sort of industry, if you have the right people in the right roles, the job itself becomes fairly easy. So I believe we've got a very strong team in place, from coaching team through to management team through to support people, and that's probably what is going to make us successful. Not me, not my knowledge or skill set, it's the team's skill set and knowledge.
Right, that leads me quite nicely to my next question.
Yeah.
So from the idea you formed a team, right, and then the promotion was born, what has been your idea behind the promotion? What is the driving force behind it now?
You know, listen, we touched on it before. There's a lot of good promotions out there. There's a lot of people putting on good shows, but everyone's trying to do the same thing. You know, there's a proven model out there that works, and that's the UFCs. And a lot of people are trying to jump on the bandwagon and not copy it, for want of a better word, because I don't believe anybody can copy it. I don't believe anybody can better it. Those guys have come along the right place at the right team with the right structure in place, and have been very successful in doing what they're doing. But that's the professional game. You know, where I think there's a real gap in the market at the moment, particularly in the UK, is the amateur game, because obviously the amateurs are what feed the professional promotions. I believe at the moment, you know, there's some good people out there doing promotions, and they're mixing the promotions between amateur and professional fighters. I think the key to this at the moment for us, particularly in the geographical area that we're in, is to set our stall out to become the best amateur promotion in the UK. Now, whether we achieve that or not, I don't know, and I can't make any bold predictions, but my mindset is that there is a gap in the market, and if you have the right idea, the right vision, and you surround yourself with the right people, you should be fairly successful with it, and I think we will be. The feedback we've had so far, and we haven't even put a show on yet, but the feedback we've had so far is great. We've just got to deliver on it now. I don't want to overpromise anything and under-deliver, so if I'm saying I'm going to do something, I obviously am going to put 100% effort into maintaining that.
So what are all those things that you were going to do as the Shinobi promotion that are going to be different to everyone else?
Not so much different than everybody else, but I think more thorough. I'm going to try and do a thorough job from start to finish. So from the media, the marketing, the website, you know, the forward-facing things that people see, we need to be consistent in what we're doing and deliver a consistent message. The facility has to be a good facility. The arena has to be professional, the structure, the organisation. But I think most importantly, above all those things, because they're all sorts of remedial things that most people, if they put their mind to, can accomplish, it's looking after the fighters and getting the buy-in from the fighters and the gyms that provide the fighters. There's a lot of shows out there, because there's a lot of people in the industry that believe, you know, they can make a quick buck doing it, or, you know, they just are passionate about MMA. It's having the full sort of structure in place from start to finish, and really the one sort of thing that's apparent throughout all of that are the fighters. There's that many shows on at the moment that people can handpick, and coaches can handpick where they put the fighters and on what events they fight on. We want to create a promotion that people are desperate to fight on, people are passionate about being a part of, and one that people are contacting us, not the other way around. With this being our first show, as you know, we are having to contact and chase ourselves, because we're an unknown entity. We've got a good reputation already, but we haven't put a show on yet. So are we what we say we are? If we look after the fighters and we treat the fighters properly and respectfully, and they're matched correctly, and the records are correct, and the opposing gym and fighter understands the person that they're fighting, and there's real buy-in from the start, then you're not going to have mismatched fights. You're not going to have spectators turning up disappointed with the show that's being put on because they're one-sided, or they're just not worth watching. So if we look after the gyms and the fighters first and foremost, all the other things around that are not difficult to achieve if you've got some business acumen and a little bit of intelligence. And there is how you grow your promotion. And then again, the plan for us is at some point to be able to put a professional promotion on and run the two side by side. So one feeds the other.
So what is it that you were going to do as a promotion that's different to everyone else to actually help fighters and look after them? What are the key things there that, because you're going to have to do different things, aren't you? So what are those things that fighters can look forward to?
The structure that we've put in place and the individuals that we've put in place are, you know, very, very vocal about their skill sets and very vocal about the passion for the promotion that we're setting up. And there's an initial a point of reference there for everybody. So a lot of the promotions, you don't hear from them in the downtime from when there's no show on until they need you next time. We've got guys that are in regular contact with the fighters, regular contact with the gym. So customer service, for want of a better word. We've also put into place, you know, what I believe is a very good bonus package. Amateur fighters don't get paid to fight. That's why they're classed as amateur. But we've put a bonus package in place that rewards the fighters for the hard work and effort they put in. So apart from the usual £5 per ticket sale that most shows generate, we're offering a £100 bonus for the winner of each fight. We've got some really big sponsors on board, Bad Boy and CMP, who have generated a lot of interest for us from their end, but they've also supported us with, you know, some nice goodie bags and some nice items. So the winner again of every fight will get a goodie bag worth around 120, 130 pound retail cost. We've got fight of the night bonuses, submission of the night bonuses, knockout of the night bonuses. So we've got to be very careful that we're not paying a wage to people, because otherwise it's not an amateur show. But I don't think an amateur should suffer and not be rewarded for the types of incentives that the professional fighters are getting, because they work just as hard, they train just as hard. In fact, in some instances, they're having to balance jobs and training with fighting and family life. So we want them to be engaged really by the promotion, and we want them to believe that, you know, believe in us, that we actually are trying to create something for their benefit. Because if the fighters are happy, if the coaches in the gyms are happy and they're engaged, you're going to get a better organisation and a better fight night, and you know, your spectators are going to be happy and they're going to want to come back for more. And again, it's a bit of a snowball effect, isn't it?
Right. Now that most of the hard work's done,
yeah,
and the show is less than a week away now, only 6 days away, how excited are you now to see all of your hard work come to fruition?
Excited, yeah. Excited's maybe the wrong word for it. Probably, I wouldn't say I'm nervous. You know, I believe we've done everything right, and I think everything will go smoothly. And we may have the odd hiccup here and there, but it's nice to get everybody together, all the people I've been speaking to sort of remotely that have been working for us, and get the team structure in place and sort of say, here, you know, guys, let's do this. Let's show the people that, you know, we can put a great show on, and we can deliver on all the promises that we've made. And I'm looking forward to the event, but I'm looking forward to sitting down after the event with everybody that's in place and giving each other a pat on the back. I've got no worries that it's not going to be successful. The numbers that we seem to have generated so far from a ticket sales point of view are encouraging. So yeah, I'm excited then, let's use your word. I can't think of anything better to put to it, to be honest with you. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of thought has gone into this. It'll be nice to sit back and see it actually in full flow, you know, because you've got a vision in your head of how you want things to look, and you've got a vision in your head of how you want it to feel and the atmosphere. But I suppose until we're actually in the thick of it on Saturday night around 8-9 o'clock, when we're maybe halfway through the fight card, then I'll probably feel the excitement then, and hopefully a lot of satisfaction and self-worth.
Looking to the future, after this first show's done and dusted,
yeah,
what are your plans to grow this promotion?
From a structure point of view, you know, we've got a great team in place. If we can do what I believe we can do, I believe I can attract an even better team in place to aid with what we've got at the moment. You know, we've spoken to some good guys, some good brand names in UK MMA from a refereeing and officials and fighter perspective. So I just want to see where we can take this, to be honest with you. I mean, again, you have a vision in your mind of where you want it to go, but I can't say I've sat here and thought in 5-10 years time I want to have the next UFC. As I said to you before, that's not possible. It's not what I'm trying to do with this. I'm not doing it to make money. You know, if it's successful as a business, it will obviously make money, but that's not my reason for doing this. My reason for doing it is because I'm passionate about MMA, in particular UK MMA, and I want to provide a vehicle for the fighters, the amateur fighters in this country, to showcase the skill sets and the talent on, and that has been the driver behind it. If we make 1 pence or, you know, £10,000 on a show, you know, I'll be happy if we just make a profit, mate. It's not my driver. So this will go wherever we're capable of taking it to go to. If we don't do a good job, it'll fizzle out. If we do a great job, hopefully this will be a brand name and a promotion that people across the UK and Europe will recognise and will sort of be engaged with, and that's really the dream. And who knows where it can be taken from there. But I need to get the first show out the way really before I start looking too far ahead.
Yeah, you spoke a lot about the team you've put together,
yeah,
and how they've helped you. This is your opportunity now to give special mention, special thanks to the people who've helped all make this possible.
Yeah, you know, listen, close friends, family members have helped. I've brought people in from the outside. I've got some, you know, two good business partners, Nick Savage and Paul Reed, who are directors of the company. They've obviously supported me both financially and, you know, mentally, emotionally, for want of a better word. And we've got a good support team in and around them. Obviously, we've got yourself that we've brought on board as a matchmaker. You're doing a phenomenal job at the moment, mate. So even though we are face to face in the room now, I'd like to go on record and say, without the hard work you've done, we would certainly have struggled getting this first fight card together. We've brought in a security company called Sensec Global, who are going to manage the security on the evening. We've brought some operational people in. We've got a company called CSP Audio Visual that manage and stage a lot of events across the country, and these guys really are specialists in what they do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they deliver on the night, because they've again promised me big things. We've got a guy called Mel Woozy from P4 TV. Anybody who watches MMA regularly in the UK will be aware of his brand, so they're coming in to film the actual live footage for us. There's probably lots of people that I'll remember to mention once I get out of this room, but really a big thank you to everyone that's helped us thus far. And without the sponsors, you know, Bad Boy and CMP, Rigel, Mercedes-Benz, we wouldn't have been able to put the show on. Bad Boy and CMP particularly, you know, John Paul Gardner and the team at Bad Boy, and Kerry Kay's old team at CMP, they really have supported us with the items, the gloves for the fight, and sponsorship revenues and media and marketing opportunities. So we have got a great team in place. You know, we've got a good medical staff, doctors, MMA officials with Neil Hall. Again, Neil's one of the most recognised referees in the UK, and I'm delighted that he's on board. The list really goes on, and if I've missed anybody out, I apologise. I'll mention you, I suppose, on the interview that we do on the promotion itself. So, but yeah, a big thank you to everyone that's been on board, and the fighters and the coaches that have agreed to support us, because there's a lot of promotions on this month, and people have committed to other promotions. So we've struggled, you know, being honest, because there's no point lying about this, we've struggled to hit the amount of gyms that we thought we would be able to. But we've had some great feedback from the guys we've spoken to, and we've had some commitment for the next show in March. So again, not looking too far ahead, this is only going to become bigger and stronger as each event goes on. And I hope everybody enjoys the show.
Nice.